Hello, welcome back to Rob's Gaming Table. I'm Mel, and today on the table I am going to be painting the Warbear character from Oathsworn. I have painted in a separate video, I painted the Ranger and the Exile. I also painted the Broodmother. If you're interested in seeing any of those videos, if you haven't seen them already, you can check out the video description and you can find them there. Also, any future painting streams that I do will also be down in the video description. So looking forward to painting this one. This one looks pretty cool. One of the things that we did was I painted two characters in the last video that I did, in the last stream I did, because it was a weekend. But with it being a weeknight and I'm a slow painter and these are really detailed minis, so I've really been taking my time with them. We decided to break it up into two streams. Originally, I was going to do the Warbear and the Priest together, but we've broken them up into two separate streams. So tonight I'm going to focus on the Warbear, and then in tomorrow's stream, I will paint the Priest. So I'm going to do them in two separate streams. Will give me more time to focus on some of these details and make them look how I want them to look. So looking forward to those. So hello to everybody that's watching live. Hello to you watching later. Hi, Jack. How are you doing? Ninja, good evening. Hello. Elaine, hello. Nice to have you among us. Oh, yeah, we have the new producer that joined earlier today during Rob's stream. Rob was streaming Lord of the Rings, the card game. If you're interested in that, he streamed that earlier today. So yeah. So I think we can get to the table. We can start looking at our mini, start looking at the colors that we're going to be using, and kind of just start painting. Okay. We are painting the Warbear. So this mini was primed with matte black primer initially, and then after that was dried, it was given a prime of matte white, both from Army Painter, over top. So we can see that it has like that zenithal. So we have some shadows. If we look under, we have some shadows under the arms. Now, the only thing I did was I did add a tiny bit of dry brush of white just to some of the fur, because I'm thinking I want to use some speed paint on it, and I wanted to just to have that speed paint really pop. So I just dry brushed a tiny bit of white just over the fur a little bit, just so that will pop a little bit more. So I've done that. And then you'll also notice that the base has a little bit of paint on it. And I did that because I was painting some other minis earlier on my lunch today. And I mean, it's kind of boring, I guess, just to watch me paint bases. The exciting part is the mini itself. So just to kind of speed up and for time's sake, and then I can also spend more time doing some detail on the dry brushing that instead of having to wait for that to dry. I thought I would just kind of do that off stream. So that's kind of all I've done. We have a different type or a different camera angle, so hopefully that this is closer for you guys to see the mini. And if you're wondering, this sticker is just for focus, so that if I pull it away, it focuses on something. But we also do love board games, so it works. So this is the mini that we're painting. I do have the character board here. Oops, sorry, I went to push the wrong camera. So I do have the character board here. Again, as I said, I want to do a speed paint over the fur. I love the way the speed paint looks on animals with any kind of texture. And this bear has a lot of fur, which we can also then use maybe some highlighting or some feathering or something, even some dry brushing to kind of bring that fur out further. But I think it'll look really good. And then it looks like he's got some metal, which we can then put a wash on and then highlight. If you see all those shiny spots, we can try to also do the same. This is only half, I think. Oh, the other side is just a close up on the face. Yeah, this is only half. So I do have, 1 second here. I do have, oh no, that's only half as well. I was gonna, 1 second, I'll show you. I do have the art as well, but this looks like it's also just the half. So that's fine. We'll work with that. This art is so cool. So cool. So super excited to paint this. So those are kind of what I'm using as reference. And we just got your copy yesterday, and we'll paint soon. Nice. Kate, hello, how are you doing? Okay. So again, like I said, I want to use the speed paint on the fur, so I'm going to do that first. And we want this bear to be, it's like a polar bear, so white. But I do like how hopefully it will still have some darkness between the fur with the speed paint. So I think I'm gonna start with the Holy White from Speed Paint. I'm just gonna shake this up really good because it looks like it has some settlement on the top there. So I'm just gonna shake that really good. And this color is kind of, it's not a white, even though it's called Holy White, it is kind of a whitish gray color. And I'm even thinking about putting a watered down dark wash over top of the fur after I have this done and dried so that we can get even more depth. You can see it does come out more gray than white, which is good because we want him to be not solid white. We'll use a 0 brush. And I'm just going to get a bigger brush actually just to mix that up. Just to make sure that it's, in case I didn't shake it all enough, I'll just mix that up. And I'm just going to take this and put this white over top of all of the fur. And we'll see. I'll start with the head. And we can build this up after if it's not exactly the color that we want. So you can see that it's already starting to fill in nicely. I'm thinking that I can use some white as a dry brush and a highlight so that if this is too gray, we can use the white to bring it to the color that we want. Details the same, just looking at some of the detail, even in the mouth. I think this is the mini that I've seen painted and posted the most. Everyone was excited for this one of the characters. How's everyone's week going? Tuesday today. It feels like it's Thursday. Oh, I was going to show you guys something. I forgot. I'll do that quickly. I was doing a little bit of painting on my lunch. I'll just pop a couple of these on here. And I painted I think they're, I guess you could call them like allies, right? The characters that you would play if you died. Ryan, hi. So I, oops, painted these guys up today. Just using speed paints. That's one of them. And then we have this one. There's like the little set of 4. So I guess these are the characters that we would play if we died. The little allies. I haven't read the rules, but that's what Rob says, so I believe him. These are not spoilers. These are open minis when you open the box, so don't worry, I'm not spoiling anything. Like a little set of 4, they kind of all go together. So I kind of did a similar look with them. And I'm super happy with the way they came out. One more. Oh, men at arms. Thank you. That's what they're called. So I painted these ones up today. A little bit yesterday on my lunch and a little bit today on my lunch. I've kind of set up a little paint area in my kitchen so that I can paint some of these kind of things. Anything that I'm painting off stream, I can paint them and just kind of come back to it when I have time. So yeah, these ones look really cool. I'm really happy with the way that they turned out. I just have to do a little more work on the base. And then I'm debating also putting a little bit more wash or detail on all of the, I guess, leather that they're wearing. And then I do want to do a little bit of edge highlighting on all of the metal to make it pop out. So yeah, that's kind of what I was working on off stream on my lunch. But yeah, they look real cool. Yeah, but some of these, like I think it just needs a little bit more detail, especially even like on the belt. So like, do some buckles and things like that. So that's kind of what I will be working on off stream, but I guess that gives you an idea of what those guys look like, or how the way I painted them anyways. And I just use mainly speed paints and metals. I meant to show that at the beginning, sorry, I forgot. Lots of awesome allies to meet in Oathsworn chapters. Oh, perfect. Perfect. All of them I think I will be painting off stream, so but not have spoilers. It's nice the way that I kind of just set up my little station, so on my lunch I can just kind of plop down, paint a little bit for half an hour, 45 minutes, or however long I have, and then get back to working. Or even like while making dinner, like throw something in the oven, then paint for half an hour while it's cooking. Just helps me get through some of these faster. Painting minis takes a long time, at least for me. But I'm working on it. I'm going to be working on getting faster, maybe shortcutting some things, using speed paints to help. I'm going to fill in a little bit. This is, I think, where his head can come off. So there's a little bit of a line there. So I'm just going to dab a little bit extra, just so it's not noticeable. I do love the way that that's drying already in the face. So happy with that. Oh, and Jack, you were saying the Warbear is my current main full character. So you are playing solo with like one character and then three of the I know Rob was saying, I don't remember what they call it, like partial characters or something. Is that what how you're playing? Okay, two-player. I play the Warbear full and the companion. Okay, my partner is playing the ranger with okay, with the companion. Okay, nice. Nice. We're not sure what we're doing yet. Since I have these painted, we'll actually be able to practice and try the game. Which after tomorrow I should have everything we need for chapter 1 painted. And then I think, yeah, I think it was even Jack that might have been mentioning in the unboxing that from there, once I have everything for chapter 1, start painting like all of the symbols. And I'm going to continue painting characters in case we want to switch any of the characters out. And then painting the characters that have like little companions, painting all those. Oh, okay. I would recommend you start painting the square box soon. Okay. Okay, good to know. I think you mentioned, Jack, to paint all of the symbols, right? Once I start doing that, I won't show them on stream unless we gave a spoiler warning, but I don't think I would do that in the middle of a stream, so. If I do have any drips on the base, since I already did do the base, I'll just fix that up. But I'll just try to be a little bit more careful around the base than I normally am, since it is kind of done. Well, it's not really done. The base colors are done, but there's no wash or dry brush or anything or detail on it yet. You'll have done the rats, which are the rats are in a symbol box. Squares use a lot. Oh, okay. Don't mix up the diamond and the square. Okay, good to know. I think once I start doing the symbols, I'll just do one symbol box at a time, so then I can paint them and then put them back in the box. Because that's what I'm hoping. Our plan is that I can paint them all ahead of our streams. So then when we open the boxes on stream, when it says like open box this, it'll all be painted and ready to go. You can just continue. Oh, you opened the diamond thinking it was the square and spoiled yourself. Oh, I'm sorry. That's too bad. Yeah, I think that's my plan. Once we start opening the boxes, it'll be open a box, paint it, put it away, on to the next. Okay, there may be some that I go back over with this speed paint, but I feel like it gave good coverage even over the darker areas, which is perfect. I won't really be able to get up under the skirt very well, which is fine because it just kind of looks gray. I'll just do my best to slide some paint around in there. All right. I feel like that gave some pretty good coverage to the fur already. Okay, liking that. Okay. Next, I'm going to go on because I want the metal to fully dry because I want to do a wash over it. I want to detail the metal. I'm going to do the metal next. And I don't think it's supposed to be like shiny. It is, some parts of it we're going to shine up a little bit to kind of give it that, you know, like that look there, or some of the edges, like edge highlighting. But I think I want to use more of like a plate metal, which is a little bit darker. So I'll use a plate mail metal. And I'll paint all the metal stuff. Oh, notice I have 5 giant trees to do before the first session as well. As soon as I saw them and I realized I needed to get more paint. Oh my, yeah, they're huge. I don't think 1 bottle of contrast will get them all done. Oh my goodness. Yeah, they're huge. I saw them at Gen Con. They had them out on the table and they had them in the display case. And wow, is all I have to say. Alrighty, where is my metallic brush? All right, I'm just going to go through and paint all of the, I guess, armor. So we're going to do all of this area, all down the arms. I'm going to do this thing hanging from the belt, the legs. Just start up here. I'm just going to go all the way down. Yeah, the trees and the houses, like the terrain, initially when we backed the Kickstarter, I'm 99% sure I was painting at that time. And we kind of looked at this with like different eyes, right? Because before we would back Kickstarters not as a painter and just as a board game fan of like, oh, we want to play this. And we used to play with gray plastic, it didn't matter. So I feel like this was one of the first games that we backed after I started painting. So I was looking at it with different eyes. Anyways, I saw the train and was like, yeah, it looks cool, but normally things like that usually hinder the play, right? They get in the way, you can't see around them. But apparently, from what I've heard, that is not the case with the train. I mean, it looks amazing. I've seen some pictures too where people have added like moss to the trees, like all, you know, the like the stuff that people put on bases. They've added stuff like that, but to the trees and to the side of the house. It just looks amazing. So then after we got the Kickstarter, I was like, oh, I really want those. They do look really nice. But then you're right, like it just is more to paint. As you said, it takes so much paint to be able to paint those because they're so big. So it's like, I don't have them. I guess it's okay. Train, we added, and it's such a great deal. Yeah, yeah, I agree. I also think I was looking at it when we were looking at a Gen Con, and I thought, oh, even those trees, like we play Legends, Descent Legends of the Dark. You could use those trees in that because it has just the paper trees or the other 3D trees. But I was like, oh, you could use those, which would be cool. But the houses, yeah, I don't know. It does take up a lot of space for sure. Yeah, I saw the box. Isn't the box huge just for the train? It's like half the size of the game box. Much bigger than I thought. But yeah, part of me did regret not adding that on. But again, now that I'm starting to paint this, and I see all the miniatures that are already in the game that I need to paint before we can play. I mean, I guess it's not a bad thing. I don't think I would have time. I mean, I would make time, but it would be just a lot. And I would have to use them for other games, I think, in my head to make the painting and all of that worth it. Yeah. So I guess, long story short, part of me's like, oh, I wish I had them. And part of me's like, I guess I'm glad I don't. I don't have time. But they do look beautiful, and painted, they look amazing. Oh, it is the same size as the game box. I thought so, but I was looking at it not together. I thought it was, yeah. That's crazy that a box of just extra pieces that is unnecessary, like you don't need it to play, is the same size as the game itself. That's crazy. So if you have the terrain and the miniatures, you have 3 full game boxes full of stuff. That's nuts. That's nuts. Make sure I got in all these little sides. I love all these scratches in the armor. Jack says, the only thing that annoys me is the box is slightly bigger than the others, which really bothers me. Oh, okay. Shorter but slightly wider. So if you stack all 3 on top of each other, it bugs you, I see. It's about 3.5 for Gloomhaven size boxes all in. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? What are we doing with ourselves here? We're just spending our money backing games that are 30 pounds. So much plastic. It's crazy. But it's awesome at the same time. Jack, how is your session going? I think last time I heard, or one of my paint streams, you were on session 12 or chapter 12. Is that where you're still at? I find the trees look great, but it can make playing the game clunky trying to move around the board. After the second encounter, I switched to the cutouts. Oh, okay. Yeah, see, I've heard the opposite. Like some people say like, oh, it's not a hindrance at all, but maybe that's only for the first chapter, right? And it's maybe people are saying that to try to justify their purchases to themselves, you know? Like, oh yeah, this is not hindering the gameplay at all. This is enhancing it. Just because they don't want to tell themselves that they wasted their money. I have a little bit of fur under here that I did not do, so I will get my other brush and do that quickly. Okay, says, what happened that now Gloomhaven has now become the standard size for a game box? Yeah, and that's what people compare it to, right? What the heck was I just painting? Oh, under here. Crazy now, a Gloomhaven box is a unit of measurement. Like, how many Gloomhaven boxes is it? This metal will not look so shiny and bright once I put a wash on it. Oh, Jess says, unfortunately, the app hasn't updated past 12, so pause for now. Okay, that's too bad. Hopefully they get on that soon. Chippy says, go to move a large monster, knock over a tree, look in the book to make sure it's where it goes. Then you have to move the tree to figure out where the monster spot is on the board. Yeah, it does get old quick. Yeah, for sure. For sure. That would be frustrating. I did like the 3D terrain that they used in Descent Legends of the Dark. But again, even then, it was kind of a little bit cumbersome and it was hard to see around things and you had to move things so that you could look. Bernardo, hello, how are you doing? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Hope you're doing well. Bernardo says, greetings, by the way, from the Oathsworn corner of the continent. Oh, there's many people that are still waiting. I guess that's good because we haven't started playing, right? So that gives people time still to get their game and play it before we do. We're spoiling it for less people. Okay. Matthew, hi, how are you doing? Oh, Thomas says, it took us like 5.5 hours to get through the first chapter. Ooh, that's gonna be a long stream is what you're saying then for Rob and I? Encounter is 1.5 to 2 hours, a few are longer, so I would say 2.5 hours on average with setup and teardown. Bernardo, no problem. Thanks for stopping in. Have a good evening. Osiris, hello, how are you doing? You did catch early stages. I've been painting only for about half an hour, I think. Started at 6:30, just over half an hour, but I didn't start like right away. We got the fur first coat done. We're just painting up all of the armor so we can do a nice wash and highlight over that. Larry, hi, how are you doing? Okay, we got all the upper armor done. I think I'm just kind of taking a peek. Doesn't have to be perfect because I'm going to do a dark wash over it. So if there's any little, like in some of, oops, I just touched it, like in some of the holes and stuff, it's fine. All right, so let's do down the belt. Oh, there's this having a good day, just getting my minis ready to get sent up. Oh, sent up to me. Oh, you're funny. Oh, I do not have time, unfortunately. I would love to. That would be a fun project, but I do not have time. I'll even paint my own. You know, someone said, I think it was Yule in our stream yesterday. We were playing Massive Darkness 2, and we were looking at some of the minis and talking about these streams. And he's like, why don't you do commission painting? And I think that I don't want the pressure of that. I'm not good enough. I'm too slow. And then I would never be able to paint all of our minis, paint minis for someone else, plus work. But I mean, it would be fun. Maybe one day when I got better and faster. I think the extent of what I would ever do would be if I painted something and we played it and then I sold it. So like I could show the pictures of like, this is the painted minis that are included versus somebody saying, paint these for me, because I would be scared I wouldn't paint them well enough or the correct colors that they wanted, or, you know, to their liking. You guys see how much time I take for my own minis. Imagine for someone that was paying me, I'd probably take twice as long. It would be a cool job, I guess. Oh, Timo met Jamie at the Oathsworn booth. So did we. Yeah, we chatted with him as well. He's a nice guy. Got a funny sense of humor. I'm gonna do these pieces as well in this metal. They got spikes on them. Looks like it's metal. Matthew says, Mel, you would make a killing on a fully painted board game for sale. I don't know. I see some of these painted minis, and my minis do not even look half as good as things that are posted online. I thank you for your kind words. They do the job. I think they look okay from 3 feet away. Or what is that, like the 3-foot rule? Yeah, I think that would be the extent, at least for now, of what I would do. Would be like after we played through a game and we weren't playing it again. Again, shipping's so expensive, and like these games are so heavy. Let's do this piece on the side as well. Maddie, I'm sure they're not that bad. Matt says mine look okay in a dark room with squinted eyes. I'm sure they look great. You posted photos in the Discord. They do look great. You are just a hard critic on yourself, which you will always be your hardest critic, right? Doug, hello. I didn't see you sneak in. How you doing? Oh, Doug, I should be painting as well, but much more enjoyable and easier watching you paint. Thank you, thank you. Would be cool if we did it like on a regular night, like same time. So it's just like, you know, they have like book clubs. You can have like a virtual paint club where we all just kind of paint. Ryan, I'm sure that's not true. Says mine are legit bad. It's still better than unpainted. Anything's better than unpainted, but I'm sure they're not. I'm sure they're not bad. Again, you are probably just a hard critic on yourself. Ryan, I don't think I've ever seen. Have you posted any of your minis in the Discord? Which, if you don't feel comfortable, that's fine. I would love to see. Okay, we got all of the belt pieces done. I am just gonna actually do inside here as the metal as well. I was thinking that I would have the cloth peeking through, but I'll do that between these spots here. So, okay, and then just the metal around the boots. These coming together well so far. I'm not using speed paints right now. I did do speed paints on the fur. I used the Holy White speed paint. It's kind of like a grayish white or like an off-white. So I did do that for the fur. I'm thinking I might use some speed paints for some of the belts as well. Again, maybe even this, I don't want to call it a skirt, half skirt kilt that he has going on in the back. I may do some speed paint on that because I have a color that might kind of match what I'm thinking in the speed paint. And then I can just use some regular paints if I want to kind of highlight it up. So currently I've only used the Holy White speed paint, but I am thinking I might use some others because there's lots of texture, even like in the, excuse me, I guess it's not really a belt, but like the pieces that are holding the armor and even like around the belt back here, there's like texture back there too. So I'm thinking that I will use like a dark wood color speed paint on that. Because that will fill all those in nicely. Oh yeah, Ryan, if you feel comfortable to put some pictures in there, I'd love to see. I'm sure that they are not what you're thinking. I think this is the perfect mini for some speed paints. For the other characters, I've been using regular Army Painter war paints, but this miniature has tons of detail and texture. So the speed paints is perfect. And I am going to put a speed paint actually over this metal. I'm going to use like a gray speed paint instead of a wash because I like the look that that gives over the metal, which is very similar to, oh, what's the best one? This one, which is similar to the metal on this guy. Kind of darkens it down, fills in all the little scrapes on the metal. This one though, oops, sorry, this miniature I did use a different color metal, so it's a little bit shinier through. This one I don't think will be because this is more of the plate metal. than the shiny. So. Yeah, Doug, that would be cool, eh? If we did like a little virtual, like if the paint night or whatever that we had was the same date or same night every week. It's like literally painting with Mel. We all just kind of like paint and chat and get through our minis. That'd be fun. I mean, for me, there's like, I don't think ever gonna be a shortage of minis to paint. On the back, it looks like there's straps that are holding this. So I'm just gonna do this down the side and then leave that so I can have the straps holding the armor around the leg. On this side I can not really see very well because it's under, so I'm just gonna do as best I can. All right, one more. Oh, you're gonna use speed paints for the first time. Nice. You have to let me know how you like them next week when you start. I really, really like the speed paints. And the more I use them, I like them even more. Yeah, it does seem like lately everything that's coming from, or everything that we backed is kind of coming soon and has minis. Plus, like the type of games that we like and that we play, they always have minis. So yeah, there's no shortage. Plus, I just started painting, I think it was like 2 years ago, around now. So 2 years ago in the summer. And I have not painted any backlog stuff that we have. I've just been painting as things come in. So it would be cool one day, maybe, to go back to some older games and paint them up. And try steadying your hand by bracing your forearm on something on the edge of the table. Timo says the way I hold the paintbrush while the way you hold the paintbrush while painting is amazing. I hold it like I do when I write with a pencil. I do too, I think. This is kind of how I write with a pencil. But I think that's not how you're actually supposed to hold the paintbrush. And again, like Osiris is saying about balancing, I do have both of my hands balanced on the edge of the table. And I balance a lot my other hand on my fingers or on my other hand or on my handle. Usually on my hand, you can't really see, it's kind of like positioned like that, and I paint. Or depending on how I'm painting, I'll hold my hand to steady it and paint like this. But yeah, I don't think this is actually how you're supposed to hold it. I thought I heard that you're not supposed to hold the paintbrush like you hold a pencil. But I like to hold it low when I'm doing detail because I feel like I have more control. Again, whatever you feel comfortable with. But yeah, I do like to brace my hands because then I feel I don't shake as much. And when I am doing, let's say, like eyes or something super detailed, I will put it as close to my face as I can. So like I'm looking through a magnifying glass and it's like right in the magnifying glass and like my face is right in it. Yeah. So yeah, I guess however you feel comfortable. And I flip the mini around like 100 different ways, which I apologize if that's annoying. JP says, this will be my third time painting, so fingers crossed it goes well. Been watching lots of tips for beginners, etc. videos. Oh, that's awesome. Good luck. If you have any questions, ask away. There's some talented painters that can probably help you. And if I have the answer, I can try to help you as well. But the speed paints, I think you'll be happy with the results of those. And what miniatures? Oh, you're painting Oathsworn. Is that the first miniatures that you're painting? I'm just also seeing some fur back here that I didn't do, so I'm just gonna quickly throw some of that speed paint in here. Okay, I think we have all the metal done. I'm just gonna kind of flip them around all different ways, make sure I got everything. I didn't miss any. Okay. All right. Looking good so far. Okay. Next, I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna use speed paint again. I'm gonna use this dark wood. I love the color of this for any kind of belts and straps. I really like that. So I'm going to use this. Okay, so a little bit of dark wood. Don't need a lot because there's not that many straps. I'm not going to use this on the handle, I don't think. Alrighty, let's go with, I'm gonna go with a little bit of a smaller brush so I can have a little bit more control. So I'm going to use a 3-0 for this because I want to try to get the lines and then inside the belt without going all over the place. Because it'll be hard to fix up the fur if I get it all over the place because I'd have to go with the white and then kind of re-put that fur color on. I'm just going to try to be precise. If I do make a big blunder, I'll fix it. But if it's just a little one, we'll just roll with it. I'm also not putting tons on my brush because I don't want to have it drip or kind of go to the sides, like down the fur or anything. So I'm trying to be a little bit more controlled in how much I have and where I'm putting it. Because I just want it to actually tint the paint and not necessarily start running everywhere, which speed paint is very, very thin and can do that. Just make sure all the edges are cleaned up. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing. Oh, I guess we got to do the same thing for the back. Back is a little bit easier because it doesn't have that arm in the way. Daniel, hello. Daniel says, hi Mel, which one is better to support your channel, joining on YouTube or Patreon? Well, that is up to you. Some people do not like one versus the other, and that's totally fair. The only difference, so if you support on YouTube, you get the little die. Like if you see some of the people in the chat, Matthew and Osiris, they have like a little die beside their name. That is through YouTube. And you also get a few custom emojis that you can use through YouTube. And then the Discord, if you support at the same level on Patreon, so there's a level that puts you in the Discord. That happens automatically on YouTube, but you have to be at the correct level for that to happen on Patreon. So it's up to you, whatever you like better. Both are amazing, and we appreciate all the support, however you are able to do that. That's amazing. Thank you for asking, Daniel. And we thank all the people that support the channel. They make this channel run. And if you do support, you can get access to the Discord where people are posting awesome photos of their painted minis and just general chit chat about other games and things. If you use Discord. Daniel, there's also links down below if you want to look into both. You can see. Okay, so we got our straps on the back and on the front. I like that. I like the look of them. It might be hard to see on camera, but there's even little markings in the straps. Yeah, it's hard to see when it's wet. You can see a little bit more in the one across the chest. And then in the back. Yeah, it's hard to tell when it's wet, so I'll show you again later, but that's cool. Okay, and I'm going to use the same dark wood to hold for the straps that are around the arms and legs that are holding the armor. Okay. That's my magnifier. Oh, it looks like I did that metal and I shouldn't have. That's okay, we can still go over it. Looks like all of this should have been the brown. I'll just go over that. I keep getting it on the metal, no. Kopitar, hello, how are you doing? All right. That one might look a little shiny. I might have to put a wash on that one once it dries because it's not going to look like the other ones, or I have to go over it again, which is fine. That was my bad. I'm excited with the metal, I guess. Okay. A little more on the side. We got all of the upper done. Yeah, this I'm gonna have to fix. This is not what I'm going for. Okay, and then I'll do the straps, just holding the armor on the legs as well. And feet. Some of these are awkward, sorry. Okay, and then last leg. Oh, that's fine. I haven't done anything with that yet. Trying to get this in here just as best I can so that it doesn't look like something's missing. You can barely see under there, so hopefully all right. Oh, and a little bit on this foot too, I missed. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the wash that I want to use over top of all the metal. So for this case, I am going to use Gravelord Gray. I like the way that this looks over the metal. So I'm going to put this over all of the metal. So that this can dry, so we can still do some edge highlighting and like kind of shine up and put some more detail in all of that metal. So let's grab a bigger brush for this. Here. I'm just using a size 1, which for some I guess that would be a small brush, but and I'm just going to start putting this all over the armor. And I really like the way that this speed paint over metal looks. You can use a wash if you want, but I just like the look of this. I find it fills in things nicely, shades things nicely. It's a different look, I think, for me. Dragon, how are you doing? Did you get all your yard work done on the weekend? I really want to fill in all of these markings on the armor, really to pop them out. Oh, your Oathsworn got delivered today. Nice. Oh, yard work is never done. It's like housework, right? Yeah. Ocher says yes. Overall, over metal speed paints or contrast from GW opens up a lot of possibilities. Yeah, I really like the way that the speed paints look. Different speed paints, like green over metal or blue over metal, or the this gray, even black. I like the look of them. And again, if you don't have speed paints, you can get the same by using like a dark wash. I'm looking at the fur. I don't know if I'm gonna do a wash on it or not yet. I don't think I want to. I think I might just do some highlighting of the fur. Definitely like a little bit of more detail on the face. Just a little dot of fur. Oh, Drink says, looked at the models, trying to figure out if I should glue them all or keep them separate, but then how to paint them. Uh, I can't really talk about the keep them separate, but we did glue ours so they don't fall apart, and then Rob primed them all for me, and then we're painting it that way. But I don't think he's here in the chat today, but Dan Roberts, he was, I think he's been doing them separate, right? I think he has the armory set and is keeping them all separate. And I've seen other people post photos of their weapons all done and everything. So, oh, you do have the armory pack. So then you don't want to glue them. But again, I don't really know what you want to do then. We don't have the armory set, so we're playing just as is, and we didn't want the arms to fall out or like the head to pop off and like ruin any paint. So oh, Larry says if you have the armory, glue all but the arms. Well, yeah, because I guess it. So then, why did the heads come off? Is there no? There's no other heads. You can put different heads on different bodies. Dragon, did you get the terrain as well? We were talking about that earlier. All right, we got the upper half done. And you can see how it changes the whole look of the mini, right? It's not all that shiny metal. Once we have a little bit of that speed paint over top, which I like the look of that. Oh, yep, you went all in. Nice, nice. So you're gonna paint all the trees and houses and everything too? Oh, that's a project. That's a project. Okay. One I just popped in Discord has no wash or anything yet, just base paint, but it just looks sloppy to me. Okay, I will take a look once I am done. You think it looks sloppy, but I bet it doesn't. Do you use the speed paints, Ryan, or do you use just regular paint? Or use like contrast paints or? All right, starting to come together. Normal Citadel and Army Painter paints. Okay, okay. This is my cheap dollar craft store paints. I've painted a little bit with those, but I didn't love them. But I do have a few like neon-y colors that I like every now and again that I'll pull out. But I used to use the craft store ones for basing before we started actually painting our characters. We just painted the bases whatever color we were, so it was easy for you to see who was Rob's character versus my character. And I used to use just the craft paints for that. But then yeah, once I started painting my first few minis, I was like, nope, I need paints. And then it's a rabbit hole after that. I got to paint a little thicker with them, but otherwise not really much difference. Okay. Yeah, and you've been painting with them, like you said, like you're used to them, right? So you know if you need to add a little bit of water to some or not. Okay, one more, one more. You know, that's a question off topic. How did you like Hoplomachus Victorum? I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it a lot. And I was very happy that Rob didn't do that by himself. And you know what? Even after we played it, so it is a solo game, but we both kind of played together during the demo. And even after, I was like, that, yes, it's a solo game, but it doesn't have to be. You can play with a partner or a friend and kind of come to decisions together and talk through the strategy of the game. Like, yes, it is a game that Rob will be able to play solo with you guys on stream, and it's going to be awesome. But if you were purchasing the game, you can play with more than one player. I wouldn't suggest 3, but maybe like 2, like yourself and a partner or a friend, is a very fun experience. I really enjoyed the game. Very much gave a little bit of the Too Many Bones vibe, where you are you know, kind of moving enemies on the board, and you know, positioning matters. And I didn't really know too much about the first version, but yeah, I really enjoyed the game a lot. And I think that came through from the live stream that we did. Right, I was super excited, really into it as Salem was explaining the game. I was like, how can we beat this? What can we do next? Like, where should we put which guys should we deploy? There's a lot of strategy in the game, which is awesome. There's some depth there. Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. And Daniel, in these paint streams, you're allowed to ask off-topic questions because we don't really have necessarily a topic. Like, I guess yes, painting is the topic, but we don't only have to talk about painting or the game that I'm painting. So feel free to ask whatever you would like to know. Yeah, it was a fun. Hobblemox was a fun game. And I hope that Rob will let me play on stream with him every now and again. I enjoyed it. Or even off stream with him, whatever. It was fun. All right, do we have all of the armor? I think we do. Oh, we have to do the axe. Why does that look weird? Oh, Dragon's been painting since the 80s. That's awesome. So, Dragon, are all the games that you own painted? Except for like whatever you've just gotten recently? Or do you only paint select games? I feel like I've only been painting since 2020. And I wish I had gotten into it sooner. Didn't realize what I was missing out on. That looks good. Okay, I think I'm going to do all the fabric now. While that's all drying. I just missed a tiny spot here. Okay. Oh, you're way behind on painting games. Okay. So this is like a blue color, all the fabric. I'm thinking of using this Cloudburst Blue Speed Paint, which is a kind of like a darker blue. And I really, really like this color. And I think it'll go with the look. Especially because most of the fabric has that dark look. So that dark look with the blue, I think will look nice. If I don't like it, I can easily swap it out before it dries. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect. Jamos, hello. Did Rob buy Oathsworn? No, he didn't. We didn't buy Oathsworn. We don't have it. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, we backed it. Yeah, I like this color a lot, especially over the Zenithal. Also, what if I backed it, not Rob? Then what? I'm just messing with you. Jamos, how you doing? I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're doing well. We saw you quickly in one of the last streams, I think, actually. Yeah, I like this color a lot. You got it and sold it. Love the figures, but the rules look clunky. Oh, you didn't even try? You just like read the rules and were like, this is not for me? Well, it's one lucky person that got the game because I know a lot of people are trying to find it and can't get it. So whoever you sold it to is one lucky person. Have you tried the speed paints yet by Army Painter? Love them. I have also tried them and love them. Yes, yes, I have. I love them. Again, Army Painter sent me the starter set and the mega set to show off on stream, and I have been using them and loving them. Ah. Yeah, I like the look of that color. I'm gonna try to, as best I can, get my brush like between these little pieces. Gotta say, this is where the magnifying glass definitely comes in handy. You can definitely see where I need to put my brush. Gameline, hello, how are you doing? Do you find it easier on larger or smaller models to get them painted right? I always thought bigger would be easier for me, but the fewer I have done, the more of a challenge for some reason. I think I agree with you. I think I agree with you that the bigger minis, I don't know if it's more, I don't know. I like this size mini. I don't know if it's just like the detail in the bigger ones is just overwhelming. I don't know. But I prefer, I love character. Like I love this size mini is what I love. But I don't have a ton of experience with the bigger ones. I've painted, now I painted the Massive Darkness 2, like all the bosses and roaming monsters for that game. I enjoyed them. They were okay, but I still preferred the characters. And then I did the Brood Mother, which I'm happy with, but I still feel like there's some small details I'm gonna leave it, but I would do if I had time. But these characters, I love to just spend an evening and like focus on a whole character. I don't know. But yeah, I always thought it would be easier to paint the bigger minis as well, but I don't think that's the case. For me, anyways, they're intimidating. All right, now I'm gonna try to, as best I can, just kind of grab a bigger brush and slide some of this paint underneath. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to, if somebody looks at it at a weird angle, that there's paint under there. I don't even know if I can reach all the way at the top. I don't think I can really get under this one. So we'll just slide our brush as best we can. Ah. What primer color do you like the best with speed paints? I like matte white. Doesn't have to be armor painter, but matte white is amazing for speed paints. But again, this was Zenithal, and you can see this is speed paint over that, and you can see where it's kind of like the white kind of shines through with a little bit darker in the crevices of the I guess kilt. So, but I like, and Army Painter also suggests to use the white. I wasn't intending actually on using speed paints on these ones, which is why we did this whole Zenithal priming. I think I can get under there. No, I'm not even worrying about that right now. You can't, like, so hard to even see to get under that the back part. So I'm gonna leave that as is. All right. Okay. Larry, we're not sure yet what characters we're playing. I've painted up, it's gonna be 3 now. I'm just gonna use, sorry, one sec while I think, and then I will talk. I can't do 2 things at once. I'm just gonna use this leather brown for the handle of the weapon. I painted up the Ranger and the Exile in a stream on Sunday, and then now painting the Warbear today, and then the Priest I'm painting in a stream tomorrow. And then from there, I'm just gonna kind of like paint one at a time. So we'll probably start playing off stream with the 4 characters that I've painted. We can kind of like learn the game, make sure we understand all the rules, and then kind of go from there. So I'm not 100% sure what characters we're going to be playing. Because we may play a character off stream of the ones that I've painted and then kind of realize like we don't like that character or it doesn't work with the party. And then switch things up. So not 100% sure yet. If anybody has suggestions or recommendations on ones we should play or that are good combination, you can put them in the comments after the stream ends and we can look at that. I think there's 12 characters. Some of them come with little companions, so I need to paint those up if we were going to play with one of those. And I'm painting them in complexity order, so that's kind of how we determined how I was going to paint them, just because we needed some kind of method to the madness. And that was the easiest that we could think of. Why did I paint the armor pieces in the front before the cloth? Just because what the color you were doing. Yeah, so what I did was I wanted to do this part first because I knew I was going to use the speed paint on that cloth. If I made a mistake, I can then touch it up on the cloth by using the white primer or matte white paint and bringing that back to the color that it was. And then it's just easier for me to fix the mistakes. Where was I just going? Oh yeah, right here. So that's why I did it that way. And also I like the speed paint. So going in these little spots here, if I touch the silver, it's a little less noticeable, I think. Whereas vice versa, if I had the blue already done and then I were to touch the silver on top of that, it definitely ruins the look. It's more obvious. So that's kind of why I decided to do that. Hey Smith, welcome. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the channel. So I think for me, it depends on the colors that I'm using. Yeah. Dragon says, I tend to paint lighter color to darker myself, which is fair. Yeah, that's fair. And I like to do that as well. But with the speed paint, I knew that if I go over, if I like painting this part, if I painted this and I accidentally touched part of the cloth, it's harder for me to fix that later. But I don't know. I don't really have any kind of method. I just kind of do things, sometimes not in the right order, for sure. The other thing too is sometimes depending on if I want to highlight something or if I want something to dry, I might do it in a wrong order. I don't really think there is an order. Whatever works for you. But that's why I did that, if anybody else cares. Speed paint is hard to paint over? Yes. Yes, it is. Or no, it's not. Speed paint is not hard to paint over. If I were to get the metal on top of the speed paint, I can't just use the speed paint and kind of like dab it because it won't cover it. I would have to get a little bit of white or lighter color and then reuse the speed paint after that white dries. Because the speed paint is like very translucent and doesn't like even so here, for example, so this is what looking at like the brown speed paint is over just like the zenithal look, right? And I did it for all of the wraps around the feet. But over here, I accidentally painted the whole arm with that silver. I wasn't even thinking, I was probably talking and just painted it. but then I still use that speed paint over, and see how there's a different look there? Like, it looks very different. So the speed paint over silver versus over brown looks like a totally different thing. I'm still gonna fix it, but yeah. I'm gonna put some like dark wash on it or something to fix it. But yeah, if I got silver on here and tried to put speed paint over it, you would get like a look like this instead. So usually if I make a mistake with the speed paint, I will try to correct it by putting whatever the color primer that I use. So whether it was like a matte white or an off-white or some sort of like necrotic flesh or whatever you're painting, priming with, I would use that. I'm gonna have to do 2 coats, I think, on this. Not solid enough. But colors, any color will go over speed paint, no problem. I probably should have done this the same color as I did that, now that I'm looking at it. It is what it is. Or, because I need to do a second coat of this, I might do a darker color because I don't love this. But we'll see when it dries. Maybe when it dries, it'll... Never mind. So realize that I missed the bottom. I didn't do the metal, so I'll do that as soon as I'm done here. And then put that same Gravelord Gray over top of that. Yeah, I love the speed paint leather as well. I really like that, for sure. The good thing about speed paints too, I like, is that it can help kind of blend in your corners because it has some color to it. It is nice if you miss a spot, it'll kind of correct that for you and like blend things out nicely and give better transitions, and so they're not like harsh lines. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. Definitely will need a second coat on that. And while that's drying, I'm just gonna do that bottom part of the weapon that I had forgotten before. Oh, I missed the whole section under here. Get that brown. Yes, you do have to watch for reactivation. If you go over speed paint with something that is thinner or higher water content, it can pull some of the color underneath. Yeah, I can definitely do that. I haven't really had that happen because I try not to do that, but I have heard stories of that happening. So you want to be careful if you're going over it again. Okay, I think I just got to do inside the mouth. What we're going to do inside the mouth is I'm going to use this Crusader skin. I don't want like a pink color, but I want like a dark color on the inside. So, oh, Game, I didn't answer your question. Sorry. Since these were separate pieces, would you prefer to prime the individual pieces and paint and assemble the model and work paint around and get the harder locations? Now, I didn't do that. And I joke it's funny because sometimes I say I wish that I could remove pieces. Like if you were able to remove the 2 pieces of fabric to get like the back of the legs and everything, you know, the mini would look better overall. But we we glued ours in because we don't have the armory set. We're not taking any pieces off or anything. But you can do that. And I've seen people that have done that, that have kind of laid it all out, primed it all, painted all the whole thing together. But again, I didn't do that because we're just keeping them and playing with them as is. So I'm just using this Crusader skin and I'm just putting it on the inside of the mouth. I wanted something that is not pink and not white. And I find that this on the inside of mouth gives kind of like a depth. And then I'll touch up the teeth after. So I'm going to put this over the teeth as well. But I am going to touch them up. This will just give some detail in between the teeth and along the gum line, because this will just kind of fill in any gaps. But I will, once this dries, we'll go back. Okay. Okay, and then just in a little bit right in here, I'm noticing that there's not really much color, so either I missed it or it kind of, there wasn't enough of the speed paint. So I'm just going to try to squeeze some of that in there. Which I probably missed it. Alrighty. And then again around the toes, I did the toes, but it doesn't really look like much is there. So I'm just gonna do like a little second coat here. And touch up the grass if I mess it up. And I can paint a little bit on nails as well once all this dries, but I'm going to just a little bit of the Gravelord Gray that I have out, and I'm just going to kind of dab this on the nose just to darken the nose a little bit. Don't want to use like a black paint. I want it to be like a thinner coat, not like a solid black. Okay, I just added a little bit of color to the nose. Okay. I'm going to take a matte white and I'm going to just do a tiny dot inside the eyes. I'm also going to use this matte white to kind of highlight the teeth. Okay. So for this one, I'm going to use the smallest brush that I have, which is the 50. Oh, this one has the, I thought I got it. No, I'm going to use the 30. That one has like a little hair. I thought I pulled it out, but I want super tiny fine point. Okay. I'm going to hold this as close as I can, sorry. Okay, we'll add a little bit more. I can't barely see it. Under my magnifying glass, I can see it, but very hard to see, so. Oh, that's terrible. Just fixing my mistake quick. Okay. We got one eye. This one's even harder because it's kind of to the side. All right. Eyes in there as best we're going to get. What I'm going to do next is do some tiny bit of red tone wash, and I'm just going to put this inside the ears just to give kind of a little tiny bit of tint inside the ears. I don't want to paint in there. I just want to kind of tint it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to take that Gravelord Gray that we already have, and I'm just going to, because I had missed down here, so I'm just going to put that over that, just so it matches all the other metal. And that red that I have, the red tone, I'm going to put that inside the mouth as well. The red tone wash. Give that a minute so that if any of it is kind of like around the teeth, we don't have any kind of bleeding when I try to highlight the teeth a little bit. All right. Need to do second coat on this. I guess we'll just use the same color. It's fine. It's fine. Adding a little bit of water to it. We'll do like another thin coat. Megan says, just open the terrain box. There are 2 cottages in the box, about 4 by 4 by 5 inches. Yeah, they we saw them at Gen Con. They are huge. Yep. Have fun with those. 'I can't remember how many trees there is. There like 5 or 6 trees as well. Five trees, 6 walls. Wow. Okay. I have to say already, so this is pretty much just base coated. A few things have some wash on it. Already, I think this looks awesome. And we could start playing with it. All right. Okay. So I'm going to start working on some detail. I'm going to do a wash here because I'm going to fix this because it's too shiny. So I'm going to use a strong tone wash over that. Let's see if we can fix that up. I may have to do, may not even be able to fix it, but we'll see. I want it to be shiny. But if we can't, we can't. All right. Okay. Just looking quickly. All right. I'm going to do a little bit of dry brush on the metal armor pieces. I want to kind of bring some of that out, some of the detail. I want to edge some of it so that it pops. Yeah, so let's do that next. I already have the metal. I have some napkins over here. Anthony, hello. No need to apologize. For the fur, I used the speed paint Holy White speed paint. And it was over kind of like a Zenithal prime. Okay, so I'm going to do the metal dry brush first. Trying to be careful around the cloth. And just kind of shine up some of the raised pieces and some of the edges. Of this middle piece. I'm just kind of emphasizing that. All right. Need a little bit more of that. That was the plate mail metal. Ah. Whoa, that scared me. I do that all the time when I flick the bottom and I'm dry brushing. Okay, and then just a little bit on the weapon. Alrighty. Okay. Then I'm going to use that same strong tone wash that I put on the arm here. I'm going to just put this down the handle of the weapon. Alrighty. Now that the inside of the mouse is dry as well, I'm going to see if I can kind of bring out some of the teeth a little bit. I am going to use a white. If it's too bright, I'll put a tiny bit of wash on it, but teeth are very small, so we'll see. We'll see. If the white is too much and looks too like fake, we'll put a wash on it. Okay. That makes them pop out a little bit more for sure. Ryan, welcome back. Ryan, that's so awesome. Ryan says, I've returned. You have inspired me to continue painting no matter what it looks like. That makes me so happy. That makes me so happy. I'm going to check it out as soon as I'm done as well. Your pictures that you posted for me. Again, you will always be your harshest critic. You will think it looks one way or another. And I bet it looks amazing. But it's easier for you to see what you consider imperfections in your mini. So keep painting. I'm so happy to hear that. There's like one other little tiny tooth I cannot get. There we go. And I just got to get the other big tooth on the other side. Too much paint, I'm going to make a mess. Teeth in the bottom are a little bit harder than the teeth in the top. I think we're just going to go with that and call it a day. So I don't know if this is too, like if the teeth are too white. Actually, I think it looks fine, though. It makes them kind of pop out. I might still put a tiny bit of wash on just so that it, again, gets in between the teeth and in the gum line. I'm just going to take, now that that nose is dry, I'm just going to take a tiny bit more of that Gravelord Gray. Darken that just a tad. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to kind of highlight a little bit the straps. First I should do that buckle. Okay. And then I'm going to take a leather brown, and I'm going to use that to highlight a little bit of the strap. I think I'm just going to actually use my wet palette that I have here that I haven't even used. Okay, so again, I'm taking like just a tiny brush, the 3-0 for the details. I'm just highlighting the edges a little bit. Adds a little bit more detail. All right. And just a little bit. These circle pieces should be metal. This little like pieces here. I think on the back as well. This piece here. couple finishing touches here. So on the base, so again, I already did the base before I started. So I did, if anybody is interested, I used angel green kind of as the grass. And then I used oak brown for the tree trunk. What I'm going to do next is take this same hardened leather that I have, because it's a little bit of a lighter brown, and I'm going to do a dry brush over this tree trunk just to pull out. Actually, I didn't even wash this yet. Let's do that first, actually. So I'm going to wash the grass with this green tone. I should probably do that first. I want to do a couple of details on the fur, so while this is drying, I'll be able to do that. And then we'll be able to just finish up the base last then. So just using green tone, and I'm just going to put that all over the grass. And if it goes on the tree too, that's fine. I've done it on other ones. It doesn't change the color, so it's fine. And then I'll just use that strong tone that I already have in my wet palette, and I'm just going to brush that over the tree trunk quickly. All right. So we'll give a dry brush on that once that's dry, but the last thing that I want to do to the actual mini itself is I want to just do a little bit of highlighting to the fur itself. So I'm going to take a couple different colors here because I think I want kind of like a variation. Dan, how's it going? Looking good. I was using non-oil on orc skin for the grass, but I like your direction here. I rarely go with the green shade. Makes sense. Yeah, I like I've been trying some of the different tones washes that I got, and I like the green one. And I've even put the green over the tree because in some cases I want it to kind of have that like mossy look. So I like it. Okay, so for the fur, I'm gonna go with a couple different colors. I'm gonna go with this ash gray. We're gonna use matte white. We might use that for some strokes and maybe to lighten even. And then I might even do a few darker strands of uniform gray, but we're gonna see as I play with it. If I get to a point where I'm like, no, I like it, I'm stopping, then I'll just stop. But I'm starting with this ash gray, and we'll kind of go from there. And again, I'm going to take a very tiny brush. I'm going to put actually a little bit of all these colors so I can just Okay, is that working? Oh, now it's moving. I think that should be good. Thank you. Game line, thank you. I didn't know that the machine turned off. All right. I don't know when I muted, but I'm just kind of adding some gray to the fur just to give a little bit of depth. With the hips system, is it okay to glue the rest together except for the weapons arms for the army pack? That's what someone said. If you can glue everything except for the arms if you have the armory pack, but please don't take my word for it because I don't know. I don't have that the armory, and we glued it all. Yeah, somebody was saying that that's what they did. Oh, and Dan says, yes, glue all but arms and you should be good to go. Thanks, Dan. On the top, I'm just going to kind of use it almost like a dry brush. And just kind of rub it lightly over the higher edges. I want to do each individual strand. And I'll just hold this up and you can tell me if if it's even kind of noticeable. I think so. But if I held it like that, oh, maybe it's hard to tell. Let me just move this out of the way. Okay. I did the neck part there. No, it's hard to tell with all the lights. Never mind. Hard to tell with the lights. There I can see it. You can just see like where I've kind of highlighted some of the fur under, a little bit on the knees. I'm just trying to highlight around the face a little bit just to make the lines kind of a little bit more prominent. Okay, and then just a little bit on the back. Board Game Losers, thank you so much for becoming a Patreon. We very much appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Okay, and then just a tiny bit on the tops of the arms. Okay. I'm super happy with the way this guy's turning out. Super happy with this. Looks epic. Okay. And then last thing I just want to do is I'll just do a little bit of dry brush on the base just to pop some things out on the base. And then we'll be good to go. So again, I'm going to use the hardened leather. I'm going to just do a little bit of dry brushing on the base with that. This one I'm going to use for my green. Use this one I haven't used yet. Okay. All these. I didn't even use the uniform gray. So I just did the ash gray and the white on the fur. Okay, and then for dry brush on the grass, let's use this one, Scale Hide, which is kind of like a green, pale green. That's enough, but okay, let's see. Sorry. And if this touches the trees a little bit, it's fine because having the trees be a little bit mossy or covered in some grass is fine. Let me do a close-up, spin around, and then I'll just do the black rim on the base. I'm really happy with the way this guy turned out. I mean, we could have done a little bit more on the cloth, but I think it's fine. I think the zenithal, especially in the back, gives it that depth. So I think that's perfect. Happy with the fur. I'm very happy with the face. The only thing I thought about was in the eye. It looks like there's like a scar, but I don't know that I want to put any kind of blood or anything in there. So I think I'm just going to leave it as is. Yeah. But I'm definitely happy with the way this guy has turned out. Super excited to play. Not happy with this little thing where I did the gold, but it's fine. It's fine. I don't want to fix it. So I'll take it off the base. We'll get the matte black. And I've just been doing all the rims with the matte black. Those metal clips on the back of his cloth, are you leaving them alone? Yeah, I was. Is there something I should do with them? Like these, you mean? That you mean? That was a challenge for you? I just did them in the metal and then I did a dry brush on them. But I think they look fine. I don't know. I mean, I could maybe do something else to them, but I like the look of it. I think I'm gonna leave it. I like the look of it. Larry, thanks so much. Yeah, I'm super happy with the way this guy has turned out. So just go, what I should do on the bottom. These? Sorry. On the bottom. Oh, is there clips there or something? Hold on a minute. I just thought it was part of the dress. Oh, I see. I see, Dan. I didn't even notice those. Yeah, we'll do something with that. I didn't even see them. Okay. Hold on one sec. I think I'll do them silver, though. I think if I do gold, it'll look strange. Oh, no, I can't even get this back on the base. One sec. I didn't even see those. Even painting it under this magnifying glass, I didn't even notice. All right. So, maybe I don't do. Yeah, I feel like they have to be some sort of gold or metal color. So let's do the plate metal. I may do the plate metal. I may put a wash on. If they're too bright, I'll put a quick wash on them, but okay, so I'm going to go back to a tiny brush for this. These are very small. This is wet. Dan, you said they were a challenge for you. Do you use a magnifying glass when you paint? I have found it a lot easier to paint these little details using a magnifier. Then I can actually see them. You put blue metallic on it and wash it down. So I'm not sure if it was the right color. The other thing I can do is I can paint them this metallic color, and then I can use the same color that I put on the cloth over top of that, which I think will look nice. Oh, you have a 1 billion magnifier for your old eyes. Nice. That is weird. It's shaped different. Yeah, I think this is a 5 times magnifier that I'm using. Matthew, thank you so much. Or it says, nice job, Dan. Now we get at least another 20 minutes to chill with Mel. Yeah, I thought it was done. Dan, I didn't even see these little pieces. I tried, Matthew, I tried. Rob can't hog all the airtime. Painting again tomorrow. You guys are interested in joining tomorrow too. Tomorrow I'm painting the priest. It's like weirdly shaped too. But hey, whatever. I don't think I did this one very well, but whatever. Okay, I'm gonna let those dry while I do around the rim, and then I am going to put that same color that I used for the cloth. I'm gonna put that over top of that. I'm gonna see what that looks like. But I think that will be good because it'll mute it down, but you'll still be able to see them through, I think. So again, we're going back to the black. Brian, hello. Brian says, except Rob is eating all the jalapeno Cheetos. We don't have any, so we can't eat them. Brian, how you doing? All right, so while that's drying, let's go back to this. Oh, Brian says, I'm doing really well right now. I have finally started Aftermath after a year and a half. Nice. Enjoy that. That's a fun little game. Are you playing solo? Or are you playing with family? Playing solo, 2 characters. Nice. Enjoy that, Brian. Too mice to be specific. Nice. I always do the base last, but I probably should not. And I should wait until the morning when my eyes are solid again. I always do this last when I'm like tired from the day. And I'm trying to go nicely on edges. Tiny bit left. Okay. All right. Oops. Next, so then what I'll do there's no way I can wait to paint the base. It's too tempting to finish the darn thing. I mean, just like the black rim around, because like things like this happen when I'm tired, where it's like it goes a little higher than it should. I mean, whatever, no one's gonna notice, but I noticed. Like I should just wait until the morning and then just do it when my eyes are fresh. So I'm just taking a tiny bit of the Cloudburst Blue. That is the color that we used on the cloth. And I'm just going to go over, I mean, yeah, they're dry enough at least. And I'm just going to go over them, over these little, I don't know what they're even called. So we'll be able to see them better once it's not wet, but then they won't stand out so much. Like I don't want them to have like shiny dangly things from the cloth. This will dry a little bit lighter. And hopefully we can still see them. But I think it's fine. Okay, so let's do like this. Oh, we can't. We have to kind of go like this because we're doing a slightly different angle today. That's the front. All finished up. And then again, those little danglies are still wet. But I think we'll still be able to see them through, or we'll see like a little bit of shine through. I don't know. It's fine. The other thing I can do is maybe do a little bit of dry brush on them, but I'm afraid that I'll hit the cloth. So I may just leave. The shade that I put on the metal was the Gravelord Gray Speed Paint. I really like this color over metal. Personally, that's what I like. Because it almost gives it that, is it metal? Is it stone? I'm not sure, kind of look. And then I did a dry brush over the metal with the same plate metal that I used. But yeah, definitely super happy with this guy. I think he looks great. Looking forward to playing this character in the game, hopefully. This is like epic. It's awesome. Painting is nerve-wracking. I wanted to do it justice. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. For the story mode was great. Last night encounter started once Mel finishes the bear. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're West Coast though, right? So you're earlier because I was like, it's almost 10 p.m. here. Yeah, Brian, the minis are gorgeous. They're very detailed for sure. They're very nice. The characters are nice light plastic. Even the larger minis are super detailed, very, very, very nice minis. I'm super excited to paint the whole game. Yeah. Oh, interesting. You did with Nuln Oil. Yeah. Nuln Oil is, I think I have it. Is that more black or a brown wash? I think it's like more of a dark wash. Yeah, I think it's a little bit darker than what I used. Yeah. But that would work too. Oh, you are an East Coast. Oh, wow. You just stay up late. Oh, I appreciate you hanging out with me then. That's nice. Okay, well, that's another mini done. So this was, I guess, the inspiration. I think we nailed it. Awesome. Awesome. It was fun. Thanks to everyone that hung out with me while I painted the Warbear. Tomorrow I'm going to be painting the Priest, same time, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, if you're interested in seeing what I can do with that one. Tomorrow I'll start looking at the mini and determining what colors I want to use and get my mind into that one. But yeah, this has been fun painting all these characters. Like I said, the miniatures are great, super detailed, super nice. I wasn't even expecting to use speed paints on them, but I think the speed paints really worked for the Warbear specifically. So really happy that I went with that direction, and I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. So yeah. So tomorrow we'll be streaming again. So check that out if you're interested. Again, playlists are in the video description for the I did one stream that had the Ranger in Exile. Had another stream where I painted the Brood Mother. Any future paint streams will be in that playlist as well. And again, eventually when we start playing the game, you'll see them in the playlist as well. So Ryan says, do you do love some Nuln Oil? Okay. I use it a little bit. Not very much though, now that I have the speed paints. So I don't know. We'll see. Brian, thanks so much. Yeah, again, thank you so much to everyone that hung out in the live chat. Anybody that's watching later, again, thank you so much. Thank you again to all of the patrons and YouTube members for supporting the channel. We really, really appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you're interested in supporting the channel in any way, the links are in the description below for that. Yeah, so anyways, I will see you tomorrow. I know Rob is also streaming tomorrow. He is doing the second scenario in the Agmar Awakens campaign. He's doing a solo playthrough of that. So if you're interested in seeing that, I know he played one today and he's going to be streaming again tomorrow. So you can catch that tomorrow, or you can catch me live tomorrow night, and future streams will be scheduled shortly. Anyways, have a great night, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.